Hi, everybody. Mr. Bauman here again, just to talk to you a little bit about feedback. So, we talked already about giving feedback, receiving feedback, where it's going to happen, how you can do it, things like that. Something that I want you to be aware of, and this is just like general life advice, right? Remember what I was just telling you about? Everybody knows that guy who gives out random advice. Here's a little bit of that, but it's topical, it's about feedback. People aren't always ready to receive feedback, but people are always trying to give it, right? So that could be like, hey, you messed up that shot. Hey, you're tying your shoes wrong. I noticed that this, I noticed that that. And like you might feel like it's people are kind of picking on you a little bit. Or like even for me as a teacher, right? I might be like, hey, we're in science class. So like, you're probably ready to receive science feedback, like maybe about something that happened in class today that I noticed. And you might just not be feeling that, like there might be something else going on, or you might just not be in that headspace, right? This is especially true in like sports, right? That's actually where I picked it up. Was recently a couple of my teammates were talking about like, how they like to receive feedback or from whom they like to receive feedback. They don't always feel comfortable with like any random person coming up and giving it to them, because we're all teammates, we're like on the same level, and they feel like if you're telling them something that you're like trying to say like I'm better than you at this thing, and that messes with their headspace, right? That's not the way our classroom is, but it's just something to consider, like especially when talking with your peers. You want to be like aware that your peers probably view you as a peer, right? So you don't want to be like, hey, I'm better than you and that's why you should do this, but you could be like, hey, I noticed this thing, I just want to kind of give you a suggestion that is working for me, and if you like it, awesome, and if you don't, then that's okay too. And if they, it, I don't know, it's something to think about for feedback. And it's something for me to consider as well. Like, me as your teacher, I'm looking to give you feedback actively. And if you're like not in the right place for that, like let's say we go back to class, right? And we're in the classroom and I come over to you and I'm like, hey, are you okay with me giving you some feedback about this? I'm going to try to ask you that as much as possible, because if you're not, because there's something else bothering you, right? Like something happened last period, or you, I don't know, you forgot your lunch and you're worried about it, like, and you just aren't ready for me to tell you something else because it'll trigger you or whatever. Then just all you gotta do is be like, yeah, no, I'm not. Not right now's not a good time. Can I come back later, or like maybe tomorrow, or email me or something, just so that you know that it's coming that way. Like, because some people like just own that, right? So if that helps you, then awesome. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. I just wanted to put it out there that it's important to be kind of mindful about that. So before you just go telling people what to do, you might ask them if they're open, for some feedback. That's what I'm going to try to do with you guys. And if there's ever a moment where I'm just starting to spout random feedback and you're like, this is too much, Mr. Bowen, you're overwhelming me, just you can do that. You can even give me this gesture if you want. It's like wax off, right? So anyway, something to think about. I think that's an interesting kind of thing that I picked up recently that I wanted you guys to be aware of. So that's it. Bye.